our next little project is we're going to drill a hole in the backside of this TV. The reason why we're doing that is here's the flat screen TV, and it's on a slide right here. But then there's a little ledge here, and then there's a cavity back at the bottom of that, and that's where they got their VCR. Well, behind the VCR, believe it or not, there's no hole in the back of there. So obviously they got to wrap all their wires up through here to get through the hole behind where the TV is. So we're going to drill a hole through there because we don't want all these cords here. It looks very unsightly. I don't know why the TV cabinet company didn't drill a hole, but they didn't. We're going to show you how to do that. Now this is a kind of a heavy unit. We've got to get to the back side of this. We've got stuff on top of the cabinet. We got some golf clubs we got to move. So I'm just going to do a little prep work. I'm going to pull the drawers out to make it a little bit lighter and show you what we do. All right, here's our wires. We've got all these wires that have to be drilled through here. So there's quite a few wires here. We've got to have all these ends going through there too. Granted, you can put one end in at a time, so we don't need the hole really super huge, but we need it quite large enough so we don't have any problems for any future wires that may want to go through there. I'm going to drill a hole at least 2 inches in diameter, maybe a little bit bigger. And I'm going to show you what kind of drill I use for that. I'm just going to use a cordless drill for this to drill the hole. Now, you could use like a paddle bit. These are little paddle bits, but obviously we're not going to use any of these for this project. 3/4, 7/8, 1 inch. If you have a small hole, you could get away with the paddle bit like that. Well, what I'm going to use is a hole saw. And this is a little bit different than a regular hole saw. A regular hole saw has teeth that go all the way around the circle. You've seen them at the stores. This is going to do the same thing. I like this way better because I can dial this in. This is called a dial. It says dial saw, but dial a saw or something like that. They're kind of hard to find at the store. You just got to look for them. And I can turn that in to 1 inch, and I can twist it out to 2.5 inches. And then there's just a nut on the back side. You tighten it up, take a crescent wrench, tighten that sucker down, and then you've got whatever size you want. And so that's what I'm going to use. I really like using this this hole saw. This is my hole saw that I use for drilling holes through doors, all kinds of stuff. The other hole saws with the teeth all the way around, they get dull very quick. And this is something, you know, once those get dull, you might as well buy another one. Forget about it. This one here, as you see, there's only three stems here that do all the cutting. And so if you did want to sharpen it up, you could get a really small file, and all you have to do is sharpen up these little tips with a small file, and voila, you're ready to go. So that's what we're going to use to drill this hole. And I'm going to make it, I thought 2 inches. I'm going to go a little bit bigger. I'm just going to make it about 2 1/4, 2.5 inches. And we're going to reach back in here, and we're going to drill a hole way back in there. So you've got to put this way back in there, and I've made a determination. We're just going to take it into the middle. But before I start drilling back here, I'm going to look on the back side. I want to make sure we don't have any other cords in our way. Last thing I want to do is drill through something or nick something that's been taped on the back side of your cabinet. So check things out before you start drilling. Okay, once I start drilling my hole, I only want to go down so far. I want the tip of the hole saw, just the middle drill bit, to go all the way through. Once I see it from the other side, once I start drilling and see it from the other side, I'm going to go around on the back side and drill just a little bit there and score it, then come around on this side, or I can finish it on the back side, either way. But I want to start a hole, and if I drill the hole just on this side, it kind of rips the back out, so I want to be careful when I do it. So that's just how I do it. I'm getting ready to drill this, but before I drill it, I want to use my special tools right now. And those special tools are, when I start drilling, it's going to be really loud. So I've got little earplugs, so I'm going to put my earplugs in. And I also have some goggles. It's always, or some glasses, protective eyewear. It's always good to do that so you don't get any sawdust or any chips of wood around. And the earplugs really help your ears out. I my hole drilled. Just pull that out. Here's the piece I drilled out. And I'm going to take a little rasp, and I'm just going to clean around the edges, because when I run the wires through there, I want to make sure they don't hit on any imperfections. So if you got a rasp, now's the time to use it. Here's our final end result. We're done with this project. Not really a project, just a little honeydew item on the list. We can cross this one off now. We're done.